your opinion about C# and .NET is outdated. So let me tell you my opinion about C# and .NET. When I was in college, university, as some of you Europeans call it, we just call it college around here. Went to a state university, nothing impressive, Montana State University, by the way. Bobcats, meow! What we had to work on was a compiler's course, and I wrote a compiler in C# for something called Pascal. You may have heard of it. It was called Micro Pascal. It had less options, and we wrote it to translate into IL. IL was the intermediate language representation of all of the .NETties into how they compile it, okay? So yes, I worked on Windows. Yes, I did all these things. That's what I did, okay, with my life, okay? I did that, and it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun, and one of the big challenges was that it didn't have closures at the time. IL had no closures, and so we had to make up closures programmatically. If you've ever used Groovy 2.3.6, actually did the exact same thing. Groovy would compile your Groovy code into Java by creating these like little virtual functions inside, or these real functions, but that you don't see them, where it just takes all the arguments. That is the closure, is all the arguments. Super fun. It was a super fun project, and it helped me understand Groovy really well when I went to Netflix and had to write Groovy. When I went to Netflix and wrote Groovy, people were like, how did you write all this code? How were you able to do this? And I'm like, yo, dog, it's just a little bit of RX and a closure. And they're like, I don't understand how it works. I'm like, well, it's just a what? I was like the best Groovy developer for a while. It was absurd.
Hello everybody, I'm Nick, and in this video I want to talk about C# and .NET and how your opinion about...
By the way, is C# dead? Is C# dead? Is C++ dead? Let's go. Is C dead? Is C dead? Is C++ dead? Is C# dead? The whole C family, we're axing it from the tree, okay? The whole C family, starting at the root, C, the whole branch is going, okay?
The language and the framework might be outdated, especially if you haven't really looked at it in the past 4 to 5 years.
I have not looked in 10.
I was browsing YouTube and I saw one of those videos that sounded like, should you learn C# in 2021? And while I was watching that, it was very clear to me that this person didn't know what they were talking about. They were giving like old, outdated information about the language.
You're welcome for the Discord notification, by the way. Let me just mute that really quickly. You're welcome. You're welcome. But this is a real problem, by the way, on YouTube. This is a real problem, is that people, like, it's one of the easiest ways to get views is to make a video about something, dumping on it. It just really is. Why? I don't know. You guys are sick, okay? You guys want to see other people in pain. You guys just want to see somebody hurting and crying. And so people can make these C# dead videos and give like 5-year-old advice, and that pretty much matches everybody's expectation, and then it just works out. You know, it's like an expectation fulfilling prophecy problem, okay? We're not going to do that. We're going to let this guy give us he's going to give us the deets. Give us the deets.
Framework, comparing it to Java and how Java is significantly better and faster and whatnot, and that you should learn that over C#. So I dived into Quora and I searched a little bit, and I found...
Can I pause this for a second? I actually do agree with it. Every place that uses C# is like government related, I swear. It's like government or healthcare related. And so at least with Java, you could work at like Netflix or other cool companies. Or you're working for like a government medical job. Finance. Like I don't want to, banks too. Oh, that's a W. Oh, that's a cool. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, Unity would be fun. Okay, at least Unity would be fun. Okay, I get it. Unity's fun. Psh.
A few interesting answers on similar questions that are so outdated, and I want to use this platform to address those. This is not a comparison between C# and Java or any other language. Other languages can do whatever they want.
Okay.
I only want to address C# itself and .NET. And yes, some
facts. I work, let's see, facts, except I work C# and I don't work for the government or bank or healthcare, but I used to. Yeah, I know. I understand C#'s not used in those departments, but it's primary landing. If you were to have all the jobs in the universe that involve C# and you put them all into one big circle, and then I closed my eyes and I could just shoot an arrow somewhere, and it would land somewhere in the middle of all this, I would land into government, healthcare, or finance, okay?
Some of the answers just pitted against Java because of how similar in principle the languages are. And let's be honest, C# was made by Microsoft to be their own Java.
Yep.
And maybe give you my take on how things are nowadays.
Okay,
if you like that content and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to get alerted when I upload a new video. So let's go to the first one here. And this one is, why is C# so much better than Java, yet not as popular? Now, is this statement true? I don't know. And also, I don't care. What I do care is about...
By the way, Sign of a true Chad. Is this statement true? I don't know, and I don't care.
The first upvoted answer, which is from 2017, by the way.
By the way.
And one of the things is C# costs money and you're tied into Windows. That's 2017. No, you are not tied into Windows. .NET and C# are cross-platform. They have been since April of 2016. Clearly, this person, and you can see it from what this.
How good was their cross-platform in 2016? Like, I know people say this. How good has the cross, like, is the cross, I know it was really bad at one point. It was awful. How about now? Is it good now? Is it good enough now? It's top tier now? It's top tier? Good. The tooling is bad. Linux could run games since 1999. It's pretty good. Okay, so, yeah, fair. I like that. It's really good. Okay, good enough for me. Okay, yeah, C# is a fine language. It's just, people always ask, why don't I do C#? And I jokingly say that I hate Microsoft. Well, actually, I don't jokingly say I don't like Microsoft. But something to really think about is that I already know a C-based language, right? I don't need, like, if I already know Go, do I really want to go and learn C#? No. Like, I'd rather you learn a language that's going to change my perspective. I'd rather learn Rust, maybe learn a little bit of OCaml, right? I just, like, do I need another Java-like language, right? I tier things up as like C, Rust, C++, Zig, super fast. I really do want to learn more Zig. Then B languages are like Go, Java, C#. They're still pretty dang fast, but at the end of the day, they still all have garbage collectors. Like, you can only be so fast when you have a garbage collector. OCaml's also in this category as well, right? And then you have your like C tier languages, which is going to be pretty much, it should be Java, Python, or JavaScript, Python, Ruby, any of these, but JavaScript has had so many people focused on it that it's become so much faster than all other interpreted languages that it's like your C tier is just JavaScript. It's just like, how'd this happen? I'm not sure. I think I've said the word Java instead of JavaScript like 3 times now. And then your D tier would be your, like, these other ones, right? As far as speed goes. Now, I don't know if that's a fair take, but in my head, it's a fair take. JavaScript is full on D tier. That's just all there is. Assembly would be S tier, right? Because you can actually just make it as fast as possible. Python is slower than JS. Dude, just do a loop in Python, okay? Python, a language known for not being good at for loops. What do you want me to say about that? Python is one of the greatest languages, though. Python should always be in your tuck on how to get ChatGPT to write you Python. Like, for me, Python is a ChatGPT language. It's great.
Saying here, experience in C, C++, Java, and Go. They have no idea what they're talking about. And this is the most upvoted answer with 65,000 views. This is ridiculous. Damn. C# is cross-platform.
Don't talk about
it. It is free. You don't have to pay anyone. It runs anywhere from your Raspberry Pis to a Windows server if you want to, or Linux or Mac. And many people that I know develop on Linux and Mac. And they have a lot of free open source frameworks as well.
Okay.
You can do anything you want. Now, some of the best ones are made by Microsoft, but those are still free. Let's go to the next one. And this one is a blog saying Java vs Python vs .NET, which one is the best? Let's go to the pros and cons for .NET. And the pros are, it supports great third-party languages. Yes. Stable code. Yes. Great community of experts. Indeed.
Arguable.
And the platform is highly productive. True. You can do tons of things, like from games to applications to Windows apps to like anything you can do with .NET.
Okay.
The cons, it often faces some issues related to stability for new releases. It does not. It just does.
It just does not. Does anyone know what this issue is referring to? I've never really heard about that. And by the way, Quora is terrible. One thing I've never heard in my lifetime is that new releases are not stable. I've heard about DLL hell. He is very offended. And limited object relational support, interesting.
It's being scrutinized before release to a ridiculous degree. And then limited object relational support. I'm assuming they're talking about ORMs, like Entity Framework is just so good. So I really don't understand this con, and I'm not really going to dive into the other ones because, again, I'm not comparing here. So the next one is interesting. It says, is Java and the JVM...
I think one thing we should all be taking away here is that Quora is a horrible platform. If you're going to Quora to find answers to things, you've already messed up, okay? That's right now, this is what I'm taking away heavily from this video, is maybe I don't know C#. Fair, I already knew that was happening. But 2, You dumb messed up, Balaki, when you're going to Quora.
behind.
Also, I always think about internet comment etiquette. Do you know Cometiquette? If you know that YouTube channel, it's so good. It's so good. And he always goes to Quora with Querious Betsy to ask the dumbest question. Dude, just so good.
C#, F#, and .NET with the release of .NET 5, and that was a year ago at this point. And the answer from the first question is yes, it was already far behind, and .NET pushed it even further. Okay, let's not really address that. Someone is defending Java and it's way ahead. But what I want to talk about is the sentiment behind this comment, the fact that Java was already behind. Let's see what Java is adding from Java 8 to Java 17. So if we go to the features, and we go to like pattern matching for switch, this is a lift and shift 1-for-1. Actually, it's a bit clunkier because it has a case here. C# doesn't have it, but it's very much exactly how you do pattern matching for
lift and
switch
shift
in C#.
I do like that lift and shift. Also, this is a great feature. I'm very happy about this. I'm happy that Java is making good, inroads to more convenient. I think pattern matching is probably the most powerful and the greatest programming language feature ever. And I am not good at it. But every time I see someone solve a problem with good pattern matching, I realize just like how stupid I am and how amazing it is. Hard agree? Yeah. There literally is no greater. I'm completely convinced of it at this point that there is pretty much not a greater programming problem solving than pattern matching. The fact that this guy reads Quora proves your opinion about C# is not outdated. Shut up, TJ. I already saw that.
Did a few versions ago, and this is still in preview in Java. Or you have the sealed classes, which you don't allow anyone to inherit from that class. C# had it since forever. It's been
Also, just first off, I'm very confused at abstract sealed class. How do you have an abstract class that no one can inherit from? Isn't that like fundamentally just broken? I thought you couldn't instantiate an abstract class. It permits circle, rectangle, and square. Okay, yeah. We already read about this. I knew about that. Also, I hate this. I just want everybody to know that I hate this. The reason why I hate this is that saying who can use you at the point of declaration just seems like such a weird inverted way to program. Like you have to know everything. You have to know everything about you. Like this just seems like make this an interface. It feels so backwards. This is ass pennies, straight up ass pennies.
Been in preview for 2 versions and GA now. Record type, we added that a version ago. Like
put it in the
pattern matching
config
for
file.
instance
Anywhere.
off to say if is instance of string. C# says X is string. All these features that effectively, switch expressions, same thing. C# had it for a while, and actually implementations.
Can we go back a little bit? First off, I know this is supposed to be about C#, but I'm happy that Java has this. This is great. A little pattern matching with instance of. That's cool. That's super cool. Let's go. Like that's good. I like what I'm seeing.
That effectively, switch expressions, same thing. C# had it for a while, and actually implementations look 1-for-1. So at this point, making arguments about language design doesn't make sense. And then, the other one is C# better than Java in 2019. And the first one, 3.7 thousand views. And the commenter says Java is both language and runtime and environment is better.
I've actually never heard anyone say that. People that I respect a lot in the world of programming have all said that Java has a horrible environment. That yes, it is more used in kind of like cooler companies, but man, to get started in Java is like a nightmare versus C#. Aware, Maven. It's just, you don't like Maven? No, I don't. I don't like Maven. Maven and Gradle. You can Gradle these nuts, okay? Facts of life.
In the runtime, the JVM is the runtime. Java is the language, and many things can compile to bytecode, which is what the JVM will run, similar to Groovy or Kotlin or whatever. Anyway.
Groovy mentioned, let's go.
And there is no second-class citizen version of Java on different platforms as it happens in .NET. I'm assuming they're referring to Mono. This is 2019. By that time, we had .NET 3.1, I think. And that was like fully cross-platform. You can run it anywhere. And in fact, it might even perform faster in Linux. So I don't know what they're on about. And then Java's compilation and optimization happen.
You heard it here first, folks. C#, Windows language, runs faster on Linux for years now. Years. Absolute years. This is great.
At runtime, not before, as with .NET and C#. No, Java, similar to .NET, will compile to bytecode or intermediate language code for .NET, and that will be the first stage of compilation. And then there's a JIT compiler that happens in runtime for both the JVM and the CLR, our own version of the VM, which will also optimize that even further. So the argument programmer for 40 years isn't really strong. Please don't leave comments like this if you are not proficient in both languages. And there's other comments as well saying that .NET is not cross-platform or C# is not cross-platform. That's not true. The ASP.NET Core framework, as you can see, fully cross-platform here. Anything you want can be found here. Same with the runtime. You can find it here. It's fully cross-platform. And
I think I know I shit on C# a lot. I think C# is a pretty wonderful language. There, fine, I'll say it. I'm saying it. I'm gonna say it. I understand that C# wasn't truly cross-platformed back in the day. It was a shit. It was a piece of shit for a long time. I knew a lot of people that tried to make it work. It's just not great. C# has a lot of great language features for being, I'm just gonna be real, for being a Java clone. C# did it better, okay? Somebody tell me I'm wrong. If you had to work in either C# or Java, I would pretty much choose C# if I could fully be on Linux. People are gonna hate that tweet. Let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. People are gonna hate this tweet. People gonna hate this tweet, but we're doing it. We're doing it. We're doing it. C# is greater than Java. Post it. Shambles, tears of rage. I cannot wait for the fallout of this tweet. I actually cannot wait. What am I losing? 1,000 followers on this one? It's going to be so dang good. We're very, very excited about this. I'm very, very excited. Is that even a hot take? People get flustered, okay? People get genuinely chapped when these kind of things happen. Bait thrown? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's keep on going.
And in fact, if you want to very easily and quickly search for some source code, you just go at source.net. That's a stupid name. Anyway, and you can search like
source.net. Oh, that was so good. Oh, that was so good. That was just so good. I loved it. I loved that.
Password hasher to see how .NET is doing password hashing by default, and you can see all the code here. It's all open source.
Okay, so that's kind of like a
file
Chromium
as well. If you just click on that, it takes you to like.
Is this kind of like the Chromium source
viewer? For those of you who don't know, in Stack Overflow's 2021 survey, ASP.NET Core came second as the most loved framework, a little bit under Svelte, and Svelte had only 1,000 responders. So really, it was very high, higher than React, higher than Express, higher than Spring. So clearly people like.
What? Rigged election, stop the count, React 69% easy. Yep. jQuery. Okay, so here's one problem I have. Can we all just take a step back for a second? Svelte, a rendering view library. ASP Core, ASP.NET Core. I'm not sure if that's a rendering view library for the web API. Fast API. I don't believe this has anything to do with the web. It has to do with servers. React.js. Okay, this is okay. Okay, we got this. Spring. Okay, this is like Spring and React being in the same category bothers me. Can we all agree that Spring and React in the same category is bothersome? Minimally? Ruby on Rails? What? Laravel? What? ¿Por qué, Maria? Like, none of this makes any sense. Then all the way down here, jQuery. The fact that jQuery, Laravel, Spring, React, and ASP.NET Core are on the same graph means this survey makes no sense, okay? This is a rigged election. Commies are taking over.
And what I want to do is I want to go to the tech-empowered benchmarks, which are public benchmarks, third-party. It's not by Microsoft. They benchmark a bunch of different tech from Rust to C++ to Java to C# to everything. And we can see the plain text web server responses and how many requests per second this thing can do. And as you can see, we have 7 million here. It's the.
By the way, I hate this. This has been so known to be gamed. This website is by far one of the most misleading websites of all time. Like you go into some of these sources, people have it like pre-programmed into it to be exactly what they want. Like there's like a series of things you have to do. This is one of the worst possibilities. It truly is, because what you do is you optimize your framework for this one stupid better performance test, and then when you actually write an application, it's dog water. Like that's the problem. That's like the truest problem, is that real code does not behave the same as these toys examples. It's super misleading.
Second most performing under Pico V. I don't know anyone using Pico V or the V language. So,
and by the way, how do I know? Because Just.js is 99.6%. Okay, Porque and Maria, right?
So that's a micro framework. Ignore it. As you can see, it performs faster than anything else. Faster than Java, C++, Rust, anything. Of course, this is just plain text, so it's just effectively testing the web server. But if you go to other examples, like let's say JSON serialization, and you search for ASP core, it's still pretty high, because if you search for something like Node.js, that's 45,000 requests.
This is interesting because I'm pretty sure Node.js actually parses JSON the fastest. What this really points to is likely garbage collection or some other thing going on here. I'm more curious about what's happening here, because I mean, it's impressive that ASP has beaten it, but still, at the end of the day, I'd also like to, I'd be very curious if the code actually is doing what it's supposed to do.
Per second, while
Copium.
ASP core,
Strong copium.
if we go all the way up, it's 160 almost. And then if you go to the single query test as well, you can see that ASP core is still very, very high. And if we go to compare that with something like Spring with web flags, that's 18,000 requests per second. And if we go with raw Spring, that's 14. It's very performant, very efficient, very fast. This isn't to say that you should use C# and .NET. This is to say that's how things are in 2021.
Also, I just think that it's all just bullshit, by the way. If you are basing how fast things are going to run based off of these really tiny, teeny, tiny little items, it's not that great, okay? Because your server doesn't do this. Your server isn't just simply a same text hello world responder, okay? Your server does things. It looks up stuff. It has many requests performing. It does authentication. It does a bunch of stuff. And so for anybody to think that these two are the same or that this actually has any indication into anything about how fast it is, it's just copium. It's just pure copium. Stop looking at these kind of tests. They mean nothing. They literally mean nothing.
Please update your opinion about the language. You don't have to use it, but at least when it comes time to talk about it, understand what the state of the language and the frameworks are. Well, that's all I have for you for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Special thanks to my Patreons for making these videos possible.
Go Patreons.
If you want to support me as well, you're going to find the link in the description down below. Leave a like if you like this video, subscribe for more content like this and ring the bell as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Keep coding.
There's a lot of things I really liked about this video. I think something I really liked about this video is that really what it goes to show is two very important things. One, when you have a perception of something, when you read something that's incorrect about it, but it fulfills your perception, you will assume it's correct. And number two, Quora is the worst place ever to go for answers, ever. Like, just don't go to Quora. Why are you going to Quora? Stop going to Quora, people, okay? It's terrible. Stop it. Stop it. Why? What? Por qué, Maria? Okay? Third, can you believe that Quora's CEO is on OpenAI's board, and after the overthrowing of Sam Altman, he remains on the board, okay? I don't trust any of it, okay? I don't trust Quora, I don't trust OpenAI, and I don't trust the answers on Quora, okay? Everything seems dangerous here, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like it at all. Which also makes me think maybe we should get a whole army of people putting bad information into Quora. Wait, that already happens. Dear God, is our AIs trained on Quora data? The future is doomed. I'm a doomer. I'm a doomer. As of officially, I'm a doomer. I am a doomer now. Oh no. Oh no. A gem.